Hi there. Very good day to everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. B-TIC Talks again on Sunday. I'm Hazir, and today's topic is about your business, envisioning your business. Now let me start this topic with a question. There are people in the class now. If I ask you, how many of you want to start a business? And I don't think that 100% of you, all of you would say yes. 80% of you would say, yes, I want to start a business. But the 20% would say, I'm okay with my job. I'm well off, I'm better off, and I'm so happy I'm getting paid. I have a thick paycheck, and I have company holiday, company accommodation, company school for my kids, and my boss is very good as well. So I'm not convinced about this business. I'm fine with it. So 20% would not want to start a business because they feel that they are okay. But if I ask the question on the other side, how many of you would want to be independent? And I would see 100% of you, every single one would say, I want to be independent. If I say independence, I'm talking about time independence, financial independence, decision-making or decision independence, location independence. Anything that you do, you have to make your decision independently without consulting your boss. If I ask you this question, all of you would say, yes, I want that, because it doesn't matter how good your boss is, you got to report to him. You don't have any reporting independence in here. You have to report him. He's a good boss. When you report to him, he would say, okay, he would allow what you wanted to, but you have to still let him know. And again, if you want to get some holiday, your boss is good. He may be able to give you some holidays and so on, but you have to fix your holiday date with him. That is what I'm calling the reporting independence. You don't have it if you work with anyone. Doesn't matter who. Doesn't matter who. Any company you work with, you always have this issue. The reporting independence, you don't have it. So that a business, if you have a business that deserves all of this independence, if you want to be independent in any term, you can, right? So for this reason, I would recommend, I would suggest, I would encourage my students, my well-wishers, or whoever they come to my class, my clients, to start a business, okay? When you start a business, you earn profit, not the salary. Profit is beautiful. Always, I have an opinion on it. Profit is beautiful because when you spend your profit, you don't calculate that. You throw the money for good cause. If you have money, sometimes you become crazy. I'm not talking on that one. If you have the money, if you really know how to use that money in a beneficial way, you don't mind throwing the money for a good cause. But if it is about a salary, an employment, you calculate a lot. You become stingy because it doesn't matter how much. You may be earning 15,000 riyals a month or $10,000 a month, doesn't matter how much. You might have loads of savings. However, when you spend it, you always have a calculation and you would become stingy. You would have your thick hand in it. So that if you want to live your life in your way, on your own terms, I would recommend you to start a business. It just doesn't guarantee you that you earn a lot of money straight away. It takes time, but whatever the money you earn that with your independence. So in this modern business world, modern globalized world, I would say, employees are having lots of rights under employment law, but those laws protect you from certain discriminations, certain pressures that you get from your employers. That's all. It doesn't give any protection from your slavery, because this is, in my understanding, in most of the people's understanding, employment is a modern day slavery where you get paid and you work like a slave within your precious lifetime, 45 years of your age, hopefully from 20 years till 65 years, 45 years of your time, your blood that is spent for an employer. And you feel like a corporate prisoner. Corporations, they never let you go out of that corporation. You work for an organization. If you don't like it, you change that to a different organization. That is it. You change your location of your prison, but you are still a prisoner. because you don't have any independence to decide anything that you wanted. If you want to take your partner for a hospital to go for a test, medical test, you have to call your boss and I have to attend to a doctor's appointment today. Can I take holiday today or half day today or tomorrow? You have to get it. So that is what I mean, the modern day slavery. So today's business world is easy for you to start one. And that is when I'm talking about self-employment. You may do your business on your own. You don't need any partners to do it with alone, self-employment or solopreneurs. That's a different concept, but you still work on your own. And entrepreneurs, they're business people, they invest money, they invest their time, their energy, their knowledge, and they get people to work for them. So that this is what the lifestyle I'm talking about. And anyone, if you want to have such things in your life, you have to envision it today. That is the today's topic. Now, when I say envisioning, that word starts with vision, and then you visualize that, you envision that, you foresee that in the future, because you don't have a business at the moment. That is how I assume that none of you have a business in your hand. So that we assume a business, we envision a business, we foresee a business in the future. And I'm calling about 3 years, 4 years, 5 years time, maximum 10 years time, you would be having a well-off business. Now, when I call it vision, let me explain the terminology here. Look at this. You have a lady sitting down in a kitchen and firewood stove where she is cooking some rice. And his daughter on the next side, she is having her modern kitchen where you have your gas cylinder, you have your gas cooker, you have your ovens, and your dresses are changed because you say, I'm a civilized woman. Your dresses are changed and you are on your phone busy talking to someone. Your mom was totally dedicated to do these cookings, and she never miscomposed any of those composition of your cookings, and it is tasty as you can. But today's this one, you have all the chemicals, you compose those, and you cook while you talk. You don't talk while you cook here. And if you compare these two kitchens, 30 years before your mother, 30 years later now, if you compare these two kitchens, the difference is only this modern day equipment and the way you dress and the way you behave while you cook using your phone. Otherwise, there is no difference, because same curry your mother cooked, you cook here, same dal, same dry fish, same meat, same chicken, same whatever. That is what you do. But you have some little bit of modern equipments to do this cooking, and it is not because of your result. It is because other companies, they force you to buy it. That is why you buy it. They make it easy for you, and they make money out of that. This kitchen is not capable of making more food this time. This kitchen is not capable of making different varieties of food here. You can't cook pizza in this kitchen, same as your mother. You can't make 25 people's food here because the mother can't do, then you can't also do it here because your kitchen is also the same as your mother's 30 years later. So in this context, I am calling this is a visionless improvement. There is no vision. And the same kitchen business, if you go downstairs, 1955, the story of the world's success in restaurant industry, McDonald's first restaurant. And 68 years later, today, they have 40,275 restaurant stores around the world in over 120 countries, and they serve 69 million customers daily. So you can imagine the same kitchen of your mother, same kitchen of this McDonald's. Your mother cooked your food 30 years ago, served it for 3 people. And McDonald's, they opened their kitchen for 3, 4, 5 people per day. That is how they started. Look at the vision of it. This is what the vision is about. You envision your business in 5 years, 10 years time with lots of flourishing different features of it. Okay, this is what the envision is about. Now, let me take a few more case studies in here. This is about a Disney vision here. Disney Walt, in other words, Walt Disney, that is his name. His first 7 businesses failed. And he's twice spent his time in rehabilitation centers for mental illness. And bank rejected him financing his most famous idea. What is it? The Disney World. Banks rejected financing him. And he twice gone bankrupt, and he was fired by a newspaper company because he was not having enough creativity. That was the guy, and he envisioned his business, and he became so successful in his first Disney World. After 9 years, after 9 years, he bought the second part of him in Florida. Right now, when he bought this, he started building that one. Before the project was over, before the project was completed, he passed away. Very unlucky. Now, this Disney World is completed, though he was no more. It was completed and it is still working today. Now, there was a story. One tourist wanted to visit Disney World. He visited and he was back home from the trip, from his visit. And he was having a chat with the taxi driver, asked him, unfortunately, Disney Vault, he didn't see this project. If he has seen this project, it would have been great. Then the driver answered him, well, we believe Disney already saw this. Disney did see this completion of it, meaning in his mind, in his brain, he saw the project, he saw his buildings, he saw all of his entertaining stuff on Disney World before he died. That is what vision is about. You see it, you don't materialize that now. However, you see it today. That is envisioning. And it is the beauty of human being. In this world, there are so many living beings. Humans are living here. Other animals are living in here. But the human, they have a speciality. They can dream things. Animals, they can't. If you see a land somewhere, you can imagine, you can envision a big 5-star hotel in it. And you can build it little by little. Within 5 years, 10 years, you can complete it off. Now, let me share one more example, one more case studies in here. This is the case of Olio. The story is 1 out of 8 American households are food insecure at the moment in USA. 1 out of 8 households are food insecure. They don't know what they're going to eat for the next time, for the next lunch, for next dinner, they don't know. And 53% of the clothes that we have in our cupboards, they are not worn again. 33% of the world's total production of food is wasted daily. Every day, if you cook 100 units of food, 33% of them are wasted. Looking at all of this, this vision came up. The vision is, we dream a waste-free world. That was the reason behind the Olio app. Please Google this and have a look. Food sharing app. Now it is sharing app because when they started it, they used to share food in it, and now they share everything. They share your toiletries, your unused clothes, your tapwares, anything that you have, toys, if you have used it, and if you don't want that, you get that to share it to someone down the road in your neighborhood or from some other place at a distance, and you give it to them, they come and pick it. This is because one mom, a lady, she wanted to move her house. And she refused to throw all the garbage and some yogurt in her fridge with some bunch of sweet potatoes. She didn't want to throw those when she was moving somewhere else. And she wanted to hand that over to someone. She wanted to share it to someone. That is when this concept came up. And now it is a billion-dollar business. Now, based on this Olio's story, look at the success, look at the impact of that one. 77 million Olios around the world. 7 million people are sharing things which they don't need to the neighbors, to the others. 86,000 volunteers rescuing unsold food from local businesses. You know, restaurants and food boutiques, at the end of each day, they throw foods because they couldn't sell those, and you can't keep that for the next day either. These foods are collected by 86,000 people daily, and that is handed into those, they are in need of those food. And 25,000 ambassadors that spreading this message to others so that people can involve in this. 23 million neighbor pickups daily, 96 million portion of food shared already. 80 million household items are shared as well. And 115,000 tons of CO2, carbon dioxide emissions avoided, because you reuse things so that you don't need to produce them. So you don't need to make any carbon dioxide here. 14 billion liters of water saved as well. 390 million car miles saved, because you don't need to travel to a big market to buy things. You don't need to use lorries to transport things. It is right across in your neighbors or neighbor home. So it is easy for you to do. So these are the impact that is made, and this is a simple concept they developed. They envisioned this world, a waste-free world. Based on that, you develop your app. If you go to the website, you can see only very minimal information on that, 2-3 tabs in it, the story of that, and that is it. Very, very easy, very straightforward, very simple. And now, having said about this envisioning your business, because I'm trying to get you an idea for yourself to build your business from today onwards, and in 5 years time, you materialized it very well and you're earning your profit while you are enjoying your time. Now, Tesla, their vision is to create the compelling car company of 21st century. And they want to transform every single car in this world, on all the roads, every car to use electricity or battery, no petrol, no diesel, no other forms of fuels, the sustainable energy concepts. That is their vision. Okay, so if you have the vision, this vision comes in your mind very first. You have to see your hotel now. You don't build the hotel and see the hotel later. No, you see the Disney World now and you start building it, because you have a plan, you have a vision in your mind for 5 years. Within 5 years or within 10 years, you complete your project. So the vision comes in first. Don't start something, but you don't have any idea. You study a course, but you don't know what you're going to do with that qualification. You go to a school and you don't know what you could do with that. You go to a market and you don't have any idea about what to do. You go to a country and you move to a country, you don't know what is next. This is when we are talking about envision. If I do this, if I want to do this, what I should do. So the vision comes first. Then you start from the scratch or from wherever you are, and you build your things one by one. Now, in this, I have given 3 different segments of your growth during that time period. Let's say if you envision something in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, you have to work on those projects portion by portion, little by little. I'm calling these in three different terms. The first is about the short-term goal. I'm calling it red goal. Okay, where don't have multiple objectives. You have only 3 objectives. If you kick all those 3, you kick your first goal, red goal. If you achieve that, the second level of your achievement to go closer to your vision, and that is the yellow goal, where you have 3 objectives, any 3 objectives that can make it a success. And if you achieve those 3 objectives, you are kicking your midterm goal. That is your yellow goal. And the third one is the final goal that you make to get your victory done, get your vision materialized. And that is what I'm calling the green goal. That's your long-term goal, where you have 3 more objectives. So to achieve any project, it is easy for you to break this down into these 3 pieces: red goal, yellow goal, green goal. Each goal has 3 objectives. When you make all these 3 objectives, you kick the goal. So any business you have in your mind, divide them into 3 portions easily. And first portion is your shorter term, second one is the midterm, and the third one is the long term. If you get it that way, you will easily be achieving it. And you see, I'm talking a vision of a person who wants a university to build. Now, this guy is in a jungle, in a paddy field, where they grow some corn or some maize or some plants in it, and he's envisioning a university in that land plot in 10 years time. So this is an empty land. You envision a university in 10 years time. You envision the business faculty, then the law faculty, followed by the engineering faculty, and then after that you may think of a medical faculty. You may think of getting people all over the world, some students from South Africa, all African countries, all Indian continent, all Pakistanis, all Malaysians, all Australians, Singaporeans. You bring down to your country wherever you're operating, and you bring a multinational community. You teach any faculty they wanted. You build the #1 auditorium there. You build a swimming pool inside. You build a race course inside as well, so that you can attract people to study. These are all things that you can imagine in 10 years time. And it is highly possible if you really have the intention to meet your vision, right? 10 years time, this empty land, it would look like this. Okay, you can do it. If you have the right plan, the investment is not a problem at all. If you enter into business, you would understand, for a businessman, he doesn't need any money. He only needs a business idea, business vision. If you envision the right stuff in your brain, if you can produce that to an investor, investors are ready to invest in it. There are so many people They have the money, they want to invest, but they don't know what to do. And if you can get one of those, your project is materialized, envisioning. So that is your university. In your case, you can dream something, you can envision something this way, and you all have to start your dreaming. If it is your university, what you do, you have your short-term red goals. What is it about? You have to do the initial part of it. And then the yellow goals you have to set, and the green goal. When you hit your green goal in 10 years time, final goal, you will be having a big university. And this is your envision. This is your vision. This is what you have in your brain. Now, if you have this, the next stuff is about setting your strategic plan. How can I achieve this? You have only a dream in your brain. How can I get this work done? This is where we talk about a strategic plan. If you have a strategic plan, you have an idea now. This is what I have to do in 10 years time. I have to be there in this university. In 10 years time, I have to be there in this hotel, a 7-star hotel, so that I have to move one by one. This is the plan. First term, the short term goal is this. Red goals are this, yellow goals are this, and the green goals are this. If you hit all these 3 things in the right order, you will be making your final goal and you will be inside your hotel. So if you have this plan in hand, the next thing is about your action, right? What shall I do? Your action. So within next 3 months, what shall I do? If this is the university I'm going to build in this land, what is the next step forward in the next 3 months? That's the key question that you have to answer. If you want to start a business, if you want to move out from your country to another, or whatever you wanted to do, whatever you envision in your brain, you need to have a plan for the next 3 months. What shall I do about this? What is the next 3 months project? What should happen from my side to carry this through to the next level? You have to have a plan. This is what I'm calling the yellow goals. It may take longer time than this one, but within 3 months, all the key things would take place. Okay, 3 months. And when you start these things, always your way is not clear to you when you start anything. Let's say you have been traveling from your home to your office every single day. That is your route map. But the route map you traveled yesterday is not the route map today, because you'll be having a different traffic on the street today. And today evening, when you come back, you will have a different traffic that you have never seen before. Maybe easier, maybe tough. It doesn't make any sense, but it is not the same as one of those that you have went through in the past. So your way is not clear to you. It's not like a light bulb. You put the light bulb on, you can see everything clearly. This is the roadmap I'm going to travel through. No, it doesn't work that way. When you move your vehicle, you would see the vision for the next 3 months, next 2 months. You would see something ahead of you. You clear that and you go to the next level. You have an idea that I'll be passing all these areas in my route map. That is fine, but you don't know how you're going to pass it. This is why it is always strongly advised, when you won't start your journey, start with what you know. When you start your car, you always start with your first gear, that you clearly know that if I want to move the car, the first thing I do is the first gear, the big wheel. And when you go further, you would understand the roughness of your street. You would understand the people around, the traffic level, the traffic jam of your road. Then you put the second gear, third gear, and then go on, so on. So you start any business that you envision in 10 years time, in 5-6 years time, you start the business right now with what you know. Let me take an example from my experience. We wanted to build a university and we wanted to teach MBA programs. And we started this business using nursery kids in our office. That is what we clearly knew, because I was not there when I was starting this business. I was working for a different university. So keeping my vision in my head to start my MBA programs, I wanted to bring some nursery students because there were teachers to do that. So let me get this property moving, getting some income and so on, manage my cost, manage my operations, pay some money, keep some staff in the office. That's the initial idea. When we get to know the things further, we eliminated that one. We had the website to start the nursery first. It was transformed to a university level after about 6-7 months time, from nursery to a university, because the route was very short for us, because we knew we had some experience. So you start with what you know, what you can. When you move when you move your vehicle, when you go further, you would understand what you should do, because your business is not a step-by-step process. Sometimes it is not sequential, it is simultaneous. You have to do multiple things at a time. Sometimes you may have to bypass certain things as well. Okay, if you take a university that is running for 20 years, they have their roadmap and you never follow them. They started the university teaching some little programs and they came to this MBA program 20 years time. But if you start your business, maybe you can start your MBA within 6 months time. You bypass the route that they went through. Okay, that happens. That depends on your expertise. So you always start your project with what you know. Don't start with what you don't know. But the law is this: when you start your business with what you know, you have to immediately get to know what you don't know. Okay, you have to immediately get to know what you don't know. That is your responsibility. That is why one of my favorite mentors, he says, you can start any business you wanted, though you don't know the business. He started his petroleum business. He wanted to sell petroleum and he didn't have any background. Nobody advised him as to how to do. He didn't have anyone to help him to do the business. But he said, I took only 3 to 4 months time to get to know the in and out of that business, inside out of that business within 3 months time. So if you are ready to get to know what's happening inside a business, you can start what you want to. It is not a problem. Otherwise, you need a consultant, you need support with expertise with you. So start with what you know, and you got to be ready to get to know what you don't know. The challenge is this: if I ask you a question, what do you know? You're going to start a business and you're going to start a restaurant. If I ask you, what do you know about restaurant business, you would say, I have seen McDonald's and the people are selling food for the customer. And that's all. You don't know anything behind. Those things you have to learn immediately as possible. Otherwise, you will take a longer time to learn. That will cost you money because your business is already running and it has an operational cost. You have to pay the salary, you have to pay the rent. If it is even your building, there's a cost. If you don't even pay the rent, if you rent that building, you can get some money to your pocket. So that it has a cost. So you have to immediately figure out what you don't know. And what you don't know is a big challenge, because if I ask anyone in this lecture what you know and what you don't know, you would struggle to list it. If I ask you what you know, you would say, what do you mean? If I ask you, can you cook some burger? You would say yes. If I ask you, can you make some roti? You would say yes. When I give a list only, you mark it, you mark what you know. If I ask you, open what you know, you say, I know nothing, or meaning, I don't understand what you mean. It is because it is difficult to figure out what you know. Okay, and it is difficult to figure out what you know. If that is the case, it is very, very difficult comparatively to know what you don't know. Let me come again. It is very difficult for you to list out what you know. If that is the case, how can you list what you don't know? Difficult, right? So start with what you know and try to jump into the pool and get to know what you don't know. Try and find it out, trial and error it and find out immediately. Otherwise, you would take longer time to go further. Right, so that's the end of my session, and I wish all of you to envision a little small business and do your yellow goals initially. I'm sorry, the red goals initially, then the yellow goals and the green goals. And I wish all of you to have a great business in 5 years' time. Have a great evening. Thank you very much.